Hello and welcome to another maintenance blog from the engine bay, except not from the engine bay. This week we're doing a house sit, but this one comes to you from Whangarei in New Zealand. And this week I'm doing a deep clean of the quick boiler B3 series. I've noticed that there's low pressure on the hot water system, and I'm guessing it's a furred up boiler because I've had this problem before. Cleaned it out, but that was a few years ago. I didn't actually take the whole thing out to give it a proper clean, so I think it's long overdue for that now. It's got two inlets and two outlets. One is for the engine cooling water that goes in and heats the water that's in there. The other one is to fill with cold water and extract with hot water. So I've got cold going in through the bottom and hot coming out from the top, and as the pressure releases, then it kicks in the water pump which fills it from the bottom again. And also there's an element which is electric heated when it's on shore power or generator. I can actually run it from the batteries, but I try not to. It's about 1500 watts I think, which is probably a little bit more than a boiling kettle, so the lithiums can handle it as long as I don't put too much else on. So one of the things that really bug me about most boats of this age is they don't have any valves anywhere on the water system. So to do anything, you've got to basically drain the system, do your job, and then pressurize the system back up, which seems like a complete waste of water and time just for the sake of a couple of valves. Unless I put that on the jobs list to put some more valves in. That's supposed to be a 40 litre tank, and it's only emptied less than 20 litres of water, so there's definitely something wrong in there. This one's the warm water outlet. Should have loosened this up a bit first, give me better access. I'm hoping there isn't another 20 litres of water in there. I might just let that drain and loosen this up. Schoolboy error. I think there was just a vacuum in there. All I need to do is break the seal, and suddenly the rest of the water's coming out. While that's draining, I might just undo these straps. So there's two straps holding it onto a stand. I have to move this back to get to the element because this draining post is in the way. If they'd only designed this tilting this way a little bit, I could get the element out without moving that. Cooling engine in, cooling engine out. So the in is lower, so maybe we should take that one out because I don't want it to all drain out. There's inevitably going to be some drainage, but I'm not sure how much. And the thing is, I can't get the bucket under there to catch the drips. Before I go any further and take any more off, I'm just going to label these because it's not exactly clear where they're coming from. Just put a cable tie here to just hook those on. So to repressurize the system so the family can actually use the water system when I'm working on it, I have to block off the inlet valve somehow. All the bungs I've got are either too big or too little. Maybe I can. I was going to cut the end off this anyway. So. Test the water pressure before I go any further. Well, that didn't work. So I've had to whittle down one of these bungs and put some PTFE tape around it to stop it squeezing down the sides. If I can get that Jubilee clip on there, should hold it. Nope. So in the end I found this three-way valve with a shut off, and that seems to have worked perfectly. So having spent an hour and skinned my palms and whittling down that bung, that's actually worked. So I'm definitely going to get a shut off valve though for that, because that's ridiculous. Every time I do anything with this, I've got to drain the whole water system, and I've got to contend with this. Okay, so now I'm going to take the engine cooling pipe off. I presume it's not under any pressure, but it would be the first time I've been surprised. Wasn't too bad. Just label that one. Final one before the electrics. As long as I keep these above the level of the engine, they won't drain. So that there is the element, and inserted inside it is the thermostat with the temperature control on the end of it. Even though it's switched off at the circuit breaker, you can still have I think it's called a negative to earth short. Even if it's turned off at the circuit breaker, you can actually short these out, and you can short the entire electrics out. Basically, if the negative touches the ground, it spins out on itself, which you can see in the last video. So I'm just going to make sure that these don't touch at all. Brown is live, blue is neutral, green and yellow is the earth. Come on. And that's the element housing, which I'll have to take out to look inside. But first I've got to get that grounding wire off. When I can see the warm out all the way in, it seems like a clear tube. The cold just seems completely blocked. I can't see any light in there at all, so it must have just been squeezing in there somehow. But I think that's where the blockage is. So at this point I realised there was no doubt about it, I was going to have to delve a little bit deeper into this job. I think I'm just going to replace it because the anode is completely disintegrated and there's no way of putting a new anode on as far as I know. So I do have a spare one of these, so I'm just going to put that on instead. So I was curious to see what came out there, that's why I tipped it onto the pontoon first, but apart from like loads of calcium, there remains of 2 anodes there and some plastic thing there, not quite sure what that is. A lot of calcium in there, and that's just the loose stuff. Most of it's actually caked onto the inside. So a few more treasures came out there, a little cable tie there. So, oh yeah, looks a lot cleaner now. It looks like there's a little bit of a baffle there which probably stops it squirting straight in. It just kind of deflects the water. Although there's a lot of crud stuck on the sides, and it's not really hard, but it's difficult to move in such a tight spot. So the next thing, I'm just going to give it a wash out with some diluted hydrochloric acid. By the time it's run its course and it's dissolved all the calcium, it only produces carbon dioxide and calcium chloride, which is used as a food additive, so it's pretty harmless. You've just got to make sure that it's actually dissolved. It can, in high concentrates, dissolve metal, so you don't want it spilling in the bilges and getting to your through holes. So I'll keep it in a plastic bowl in a container in a shelf away from the bilge, in small quantities as well. But it's very useful stuff for cleaning toilets and the calcium from boilers. So then it was just a matter of reassembling. So you can see there the difference between the old one and a new one. That anode is completely disintegrated, and that's what it started out like. These two were the ones I found in the bottom of the boiler, which was what was left after previous anodes. It's inevitable when you're down here working, you always find something else, and I noticed this bracket that's holding the heat exchanger pipes on had snapped, so we just had that re-welded, and I'm just putting it back on now. So while I'm fixing that bracket, here's another initiative that we've just started.
Have you ever dreamt of a lifestyle like this? Well, here's some really exciting news for you. You can have access to comprehensive guidance crafted by us, Irenka and Woody, seasoned world cruisers, yachting instructors and parents. We've taught thousands of people how to sail, and as a cruising family, we've sailed tens of thousands of miles across the world's oceans.
Now you can access that knowledge from our Patreon platform. So, if you want to shift your life from traditional school and work towards boat schooling, remote working, minimalist living, and a remarkable life experience, then find out how by visiting www.mothershipadrift.com or click on the links in the description below. See you out there.
So do check it out. There's a lot of thought and work gone into this to help anybody who's just starting out on this journey. But now back to fixing boats in exotic locations. So here I'm just trimming back the wires and cleaning it up to add some new terminals. So here's another new thing we're adding to our Patreon platform. It's a tools and consumable checklist and other PDF manuals and downloads that are featured on these maintenance blogs. So I'm just going to refresh the ends of those. It's so frustrating having this in the way. So here I'm just trimming back the hoses to get a nice tight grip on those brass hose tails. So next thing is I need to do this, but I need to switch the water pressure off for that, and if I do that I'd like to stick a valve on it, probably over there somewhere. So I'm going to have to leave that for now and come back to it later. Turn the water pump off and turn the taps off inside the boat, but this is the lowest point of the water system, so there's bound to be some more water coming out. Of course, as soon as the water's cut off, the family start griping. No, it isn't. It's going to be off for the next 10 minutes. So putting a valve in place is essential, really. The next thing I want to do is put this on the system so I can close it off when I need to. It's just where to put it, because I can't put it down there, obviously, so I'm going to have to put it somewhere in line. Probably the most out of the way place is down here. For the time being, it's just important to put the valve somewhere. Maybe think about mounting it on the bulkhead some point later. But for now I think it's just going to have to do. So it's tapered as well, with a nice tight fit.
Stainless and brass, which is not the best things to put together, but I'm going to put some PTFE tape in there, and here's a fresh water system, so it should be okay. So I'm going to put this on the water system. In about 10 minutes. In about 10 minutes. Checking for any leaks there. I think we're good to go.
So it wasn't exactly power shower strength, but a lot better than it used to be. And now with a new shut-off valve, which will make maintenance in the future a lot easier.
If you find this video useful and you're the type of person who likes to return a favour, you can now buy me a beer by using YouTube's new thanks button, which you'll find below this video. That's it, thanks for watching, and be sure to check out our other sailing and travel channel, Mothership Adrift. Thanks in particular to our patrons who make all things possible. If you want to become a patron, just follow the links in the description below. You can also check out our merch store with mugs and t-shirts with our Mothership branding.